Caitlin Lavagna.
And she's Kaysha Louvain. And this is Tea for Two.
Us, you, and a brew. You okay?
I'm not okay.
You were slightly nervous, weren't you?
This is the most nervous I've ever been. We're in We're in the beautiful Sherman Theatre in Cardiff, and Kaysha will carry on talking.
And we are joined by Hannah McPake and Alice Eklund. And I am very, very honoured to be here. So I want to say thank you to everyone that's kind of jumped on our crazy idea of jumping on our podcast. Because I think it's really special, like what we started with Tea for Two, are trying to give a space to creatives, and especially women. So tell us a little bit about your journey, the struggles.
How have you got here? How are you
Yes.
director and assistant director of the Alice Return to Wonderland?
I mean, literally today I have walked in across beautiful Butte Park, but how have I got here? Oh gosh, I think I first worked at the Sherman, or kind of came across the Sherman 20-something years ago when I was at Welsh College. We did one of our student productions here, and then I've worked on the bar here, I've worked front of house, I've been in some of the studio shows as an actor, I've been in some of the main stage shows as an actor, I've written for the main stage, and now this year I'm being a megalomaniac and have written and I'm directing this year's main stage show.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't understand anything about the arts, which I don't think a lot of people who listen to our podcast
No,
fall into
I
that category. Yeah. For anyone who has nothing to do with the arts but listens to us moan about them all the time, writing a Christmas show on its own is a feat in itself, isn't it? And Hannah is also directing. So yes, if you put two and two together, I've been cast as the Red Queen this year, and Hannah is my boss, which is why I can't talk. Because normally we invite random musicians.
There's a question there that I want to ask, but I'm going to save that until the end.
I know exactly what you're going to ask, and I'm not looking forward to it. Anyway.
So tell us how you came to write Alice Return to Wonderland.
Yeah, so I guess a couple of years ago I wrote a show for Sherman Main Stage called Tales of the Brothers Grimm, where the Sherman had asked me, I'm relatively new to writing, but the Sherman had asked me to write a Christmas show, and I'd said, yeah, cool, but I have a real problem with a lot of the stories we keep telling at Christmas. I find them really problematic, and I think it's really bad that it's the one time you get audiences who don't come to the theatre, loads of young people, and we keep telling these stories that tell us you have to be a certain way in the world, you have to get a prince, you have to get a magic shoe. So be saved, exactly. So they let me write a version of Tales of the Brothers Grimm where I took loads of classic fairy tales, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, The Frog Prince, and just smashed them apart. So we literally smashed the shoe, we literally cut people's hair off, we woke Sleeping Beauty up, and we kind of broke the stories open and said, look, you can write your own story. So when they asked me to do another title, it was a kind of similar thing. I was like, what are the stories that I love but I'm unsure about or have questions around? And I love Alice. And I've always... Yeah, thanks very much. I mean, we have chosen a team of Alices as well.
So many Alices in the team, is silly.
But I also love those like classic 80s, 90s movies like Return to Oz, like Hook, where you revisit somewhere that you've loved as a child. So those were really big influences. And I wanted to do, again, what we've done with the main stage Christmas show the past few years, like really locate it in Cardiff and the roots of the city that we're in. And Cardiff's got a really brilliant history. And also we have the amazing Butte Park, which is one of the largest continuous green spaces in Wales, I think maybe in the UK. And so I began to kind of think about the importance of gardens in Alice. Alice is always trying to get back to this beautiful garden. And I was thinking about how lucky we are to have this green space and what I think it does for people's mental health, well-being, having somewhere to play, somewhere to wander, somewhere to wonder. And just began to kind of try and force those two things into a story that has kind of a familiar shape. It's definitely the shape of Looking Glass, has lots of Wonderland characters, but is a brand new story for us to tell kind of now. And
I'm obviously biased. I promise Hannah has not paid me, other than my wage, which we're all on. Minimum acting music wage. Topic for a different day. So if this script, honestly, like, who am I? I've done 3 Christmas shows in my professional career. 2 of them have been in Theatre Clwyd, which you will all know about. And this is the first time I'm in the Sherman. And when I had the audition sides through for this, it just like, this this really happens, to be honest with you. It's normally the process that makes it feel familiar and what's the word I'm looking for? Like flowing or whatever. When the sides came through for Red Queen audition, I read them and I was like, oh my God, that's a big part. And I was nervous. I'm like, this is going out to kids. It will be, because it's the Sherman. And I was like prepping the sides, and I was like, oh, this is just like, which is testament to the writing of it. This is just like, it's just coming out, and it just made sense. And I know that you redirected me slightly in my audition, and we tried a different way and stuff. But some of the lines have altered now and changed, because that's a rehearsal process. But like, the script is amazing. Like, I'm genuinely, Josh asked me when I came in today, Josh Miles, wonderful Josh Miles. We'll tag you, Josh. He said to me when I came in early this morning, how are you feeling? And I can honestly, hand on heart, say that this is week 4 going into tech, and because of the cast we've got as well in the room, who are like, you just feel safe with them because they are just going to do their jobs well, you can just tell. We all just feel a bit like, we know it's week 4 and we know there's still loads of work to do, but everyone's just like, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing the work, and the work's going well, and it'll be a great show. And that's like such a nice feeling at Christmas as well, when everyone's like, Christmas saves theatres, we all know this. It has to be a good show, we have to sell, because that's what keeps us going for the rest of the time. I mean, talking to you a little bit before the pod, Alice, obviously give us a little introduction about who you are and what you do as well, but we were talking, weren't we, about the importance of bums on seats, effectively, and selling before we even have a show, really.
Well, like I didn't train professionally. Like, I came up through community theatres, and like I went to university and studied film, so I never really thought that I wanted to be a director. I was convinced I wanted to be an actor, and then slowly let that go.
Why?
Stress. I've had a couple of very small tasters of it, and went, I don't have the stamina for this, mentally or physically. But I came up through community theatre and like doing stuff at school, and I think what I love about community theatre is that it doesn't matter what the show is, like people show up for it. And I think because there's always like, there's a connection to the cast, there's heart in it, and I think that's what's so special about not just the Sherman Christmas shows, but I think particularly Hannah's Sherman Christmas shows, is that people are used to going to see Panto at Christmas time, or they're used to going to see like these sort of big bright things. And I think what's lovely is that you get elements of that with these shows, but what's most important about them is like the heart of the story, and you see real people that you can relate to, even if they are playing, the Red Queen or a rabbit. It's just like, I know that person and I've had that experience, and it's not about sort of just making people laugh, it's making people laugh and think at the same time, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, and not only go away with like a Christmassy feeling of joy, but also go, oh, I really connected with that character, why?
Yeah. And like realising like what it is that brings us together to watch shows like that. And I think that's what's so lovely about the fact that there is that Cardiff element to it. It's, it's not necessarily the bulk of the show, but I think there's something really lovely to go, we have stories here that matter as well. Yes. And it's not just about going, like you said, having the princess track that's just following someone who wants to be saved. It's like, well, no, we're a community that have stories and they can still be magical. And I think particularly in Wales, like, I feel like we shy away from that a little bit when we have such a rich history and these amazing things that happen, not necessarily just historically, but even now. So I think it's lovely to be able to get to do that at Christmas and also get to have fun with it as well.
So what's a few things then? So say people are trekking from the valleys then, coming down
with their passports.
It's hard work, I tell you.
It
took me
it's
over
a long
an hour.
time.
It took me over an hour to get to Cardiff this morning. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Don't go on the train, you'll fall down Catay's steps. Also a topic for a different pod.
Don't you start. What are a few things then that you think people should come and watch Alice Return to Wonderland for?
I mean, the banging cast, for starters.
Absolutely.
I've got to shout out the cast. We are so lucky to have just an extraordinary talented, multi-talented group of humans. They are just brilliant, and they are working their socks off. So for one, you've got just people at the top of their game doing their thing. The music, there are some big old numbers in there. I don't want to give anything away, but you know, Kieran Self doing a bit of Jack Black is going to be a highlight for some people, I think.
Absolutely.
There's some brilliant music written by Lucy Rivers and kind of expertly put together by Barney and the team. So there's a spectacle, there's puppetry, there's like big old songs, but I think, as Alice says, there's like this big heart there. It's this really small story about family, about a mother and a daughter who've kind of who are at loggerheads and find a way kind of back to each other through the story. And I think we can all relate to that, particularly at Christmas, you know, as well. So that, and good old dose of Cardiff on stage as well.
Oh, and also, the set is unbelievable. I mean, I'm saying that based off a little model in the room. I've had a little peek through the door, but we haven't officially seen it yet. There's, again, not giving anything away, although I think we will be open by this point. The set alone is worth just being in front of, like, it's amazing.
And I think that's what's really exciting about this year as well. Like, this is my 4th Christmas at the Sherman now, and I think what I've loved about this experience is seeing how, like, it feels like it's rooted in that sort of Christmas tradition that the Sherman has, but it feels really different as well. I think it's got like a dark quality to it, which I think is really fun. But then, like, the brightness is found, like, in the characters and in, like, their relationships, which I think is really exciting. And I think this year is going to be maybe something that people don't necessarily expect. Like, I am in awe every week at, like, what we're achieving, and the fact that it hasn't stopped.
The cast are like, oh my gosh, we've done this. Did somebody work it out the other day? We've pretty much, like, what time of filming, done it in like 19 and a half days.
We will have had 19 and a half days of rehearsal before we go into Zit's Probe.
No, I'm sorry.
And that is on
crazy.
a new script with, I think, about 15 original songs, which have all got instrumentation on them, which have got dances, which have got puppetry. So when you break it down like that and you go, we're working, 10 till 6 most days. Some days it's 10 till 5:30, hour lunch break, a couple of tea breaks. When you look at, like, the hours, the actual hours the show's being achieved in, it's extraordinary. And again, I cannot thank the cast and the team enough for the work ethic on this. I have never known a room where people have been this focused and behind something, and that, you know, just makes my job easy. You know?
And I think there's like an automatic respect that when you get a good script as well, you absolutely want to go, this has to be amazing because of the work that's already been done by you on the script. Just a really quick mention, because they never get mentioned. We've got some little Easter eggs behind us here of some props. Not all of them have been made, some bought and blah, 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 blah. But lots of them have been worked on. I've got an excellent bright pink flamingo mallet umbrella, which I'm probably the most excited I've ever been. Because when it came back in with the feathers on it, I was like, oh, it's so great. To scenic art, costume designers. I think I've got a costume fitting today, haven't I? So it'll be the first time that I put on the red dress, which I'm very excited about. Just a huge shout out to them, because as we've said, we've done 19 and a half days of this show so far, and they've just been continuously in the background, just getting everything ready for tech, really.
And I think it's kind of like forgotten about, or maybe just not talked about enough, that, like, they will have started weeks before us as well. Like, the Sherman Christmas show is their biggest show of the year. Maybe the autumn classic is sometimes at the same level, but, like, they have 2 Christmas shows going side by side where they've got, the same workshop team making these huge sets, and, the team of scenics, like, Emily and her team are absolutely incredible, and you just go, oh, can you make this thing that has just, like, popped out of my head, and suddenly it just arrives, and it's incredible, it's
unbelievable. So thank you to everyone who's basically making the production look amazing as well. Any other questions?
I think we're going to have a talk about our cups.
I think we should.
Yes, because we're going to ask the cast later.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're going to ask. We've asked them all to bring in a mug that means something to them.
Hannah, would you like to start?
I am shamed. I am properly shamed. I'm going to own up to this. So I did have a beautiful mug, an Alice mug that is sat on my tabletop at home. I've had one of those mornings. So I arrived with a Greg's takeaway coffee cup, which was taken off me, which, you know, is fair enough. And I now have...
had Greg's now.
I now have this beautiful mug from the green room, which I believe belonged to Alice Eklund once, with little feet.
It's very Alice.
It is very Alice, though, isn't it?
It does.
It's very cute. So I'm quite into this mug, and I might commandeer it now for the rest of the process.
That's a story in itself.
Yeah, there we are.
What about your mug?
So I got this mug for, I think it was like £2.50 in a charity shop.
No.
And it says that it's like hand painted somewhere. And I don't know, I was, you know, like when you just have like one of those days and you're like, I'm going to go to a charity shop, I'm going to do good by buying something,
Yes.
but also do good by myself by getting myself something that I like.
A nice mug.
Yeah, and every time I have this mug and use it, whether it's on like a video call or whatever, people come over, they're like, that's a really nice mug.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is.
Yeah,
I'm
it
happy
is.
about it.
It's a nice size.
It's a nice size,
Yes.
yeah.
It's very funky.
Kaysha, I thought you were going to bring a mug that would have not meant this could be published anyway, but you didn't, and I'm glad you didn't.
Right.
You know the mug that says on it what we normally sign off with?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
A naughty word.
I've got multiple mugs with naughty words on.
Yeah, and we don't need to go into
No,
that really. So
we
what have you got
don't.
with you today?
And I've got multiple mugs by nieces and nephews,
Yeah.
which I couldn't choose between. So I've gone with my first love.
Manchester United.
My first and only.
I really respect
and
that.
lasting.
You could have gone Alice in Wonderland, you could have gone theatre, and you
Why?
went, no, Manchester United.
I mean, it matches the colour scheme.
I know
It does.
What did I say to you yesterday?
I can't... Which part? We had like a 3-hour meeting.
Oh yeah, we did. Controversially, I don't like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
so this is, yes, we could... I think the characters are brilliant, but I find the story kind of quite... makes me quite anxious and frustrated.
Yeah.
So again, we've tried to find a way through it that hopefully alleviates some of that.
That's
And
why
because
I
it's
think
quite
I'm
dark,
gonna love
I
this.
think I actually
I'm gonna love
believe truly that you were going to love this
Yeah.
because it's not. It is Alice in Wonderland, like we said, with all those themes and characters and heart and stuff. But it's also a new thing, which is exciting. I, however, love Alice in Wonderland. It is other than the Little Mermaid and maybe Hercules, it's my top 3 thing. Right, my sister was obsessed with it. She won't make me saying this, and
You just wanted to copy your sister, really. didn't
yeah,
you?
because she's really cool.
Much better than you.
Way cooler than me. She is
nicer than you.
actually a town planner. So that will make sense to you all when this episode comes out. But yes, I literally can't wait. It's like the most perfect thing ever. But yes, my middle name is Alice, Alys, because when I was born, my parents said to my sister, what do you want to call your little sister? And she was like, Alice, like Alice in Wonderland. But my parents were like, okay, we'll call her Caitlin, we'll give her the middle name Alice. Yeah, we've taken it on board, Alexander, but we're not going to do that. So they called me Caitlin Alice Lavagna. The middle name is spelled with a Y, just to be a bit Welsh about the fact that my other names are absolutely not Welsh. So Caitlin Alice Lavagna, there we are, that's the story. And this is my mug. I got this from Whittards. Also will become clear as soon as Advent
Your
starts.
mother got it from Whittards.
Yes, my mother bought it for me.
You
Okay,
probably
fine.
haven't even got paid
I
it
couldn't
back
be
from
bothered
him.
to go to the outlet, but I
But
needed
you
to
only
save
paid
on
it
the
back
mug.
a bit.
Absolutely not.
No,
No,
I
thanks,
thought not.
ma'am. Thank you for the mug. It's a nice present. This is one of Whittards' Alice in Wonderland themed cups, and it's really cute. And you will be seeing a lot more of it when I start Advent, which is a thing that I do every year when I'm employed. So I didn't do it last year. Cry. But yeah. I can't wait for you to see
That's
more
why I
of
was
it.
slightly shocked that you were employed this Christmas.
Oh, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to go into it because you said how great this cast is.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that you cast Caitlin.
Why have you ended up with it?
She's brilliant. I can't think of anyone better to play the Red Queen.
God, please can't do anything at all.
Which again is quite useful for the Red Queen.
It's
very Helena Bonham Carter, isn't
Yes.
it?
Oh my
But
gosh,
they inflate
yes.
her head. There we go.
So weird. Right, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for allowing Kaysha in the Sherman.
Pleasure.
And
We are going to be joined
yes.
by Barney. And I also, before we sign off as well, I want to say I love you as actors. You may not love it starting at 10:30 in the morning. However, I just love the fact that there's different times for the shows. So it's not just
Yeah.
7
Yeah,
o'clock,
yeah,
7 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's really open to people who, you know, like me.
Self-employed.
Yeah, I
people.
tend to work a lot of evenings, so I
You
can
gig.
Yeah,
So,
so I can come at 10:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
which is
And I can wake
wonderful.
you up. And we are joined by the lovely Barney.
Shemai, Borada.
Hey!
Oh, I mean, that's how Welsh.
Welsh
Tick.
learner, tick. Barney is the musical director of Alice Return to Wonderland, more on specifically all the music of the show.
Yeah.
Because it is such a massive part of the show. Especially if anyone has seen Actor Muse or productions, we are also the band, which is quite hard to explain if you've not seen a show like that. It's quite hard to explain how that works, really. But I'll leave you ask Barney the first few questions about himself, because I know all about Barney.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Oh, well, that was easy, wasn't it?
Here we are.
There we go.
All right. Yes, I'm the musical director, and I've also been doing a lot of the arrangements for the show. I started off as an actor musician. I went to Rose Bruford, just like you, Caitlin. Yeah, many years ago, much before your time. And somehow wound up living in Wales. I'm not Welsh. I'm very English, as you can hear, and my name is Barnaby. And yeah, don't hold that against me. Yeah, thank you. And moved into MDing as well. So here I am at the Sherman.
And you've done how many Christmases at the Sherman?
So this is my third Christmas here. Yeah, and also third year working with Lucy, our composer. So yeah, we've done a few shows together now.
So I was trying to explain to Kaysha how, because it's my first experience of like two heads of music being on a show, really. Normally you get the musical director, and on a panto you'd be doing covers of songs.
Yeah.
This is very different. It's all original. It's an original soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
Would you say Lucy is like book and lyrics?
I think Hannah wrote the lyrics.
Okay.
And then Lucy's obviously written all of the music. Lucy's been in the rehearsals and helping with putting the arrangements together as well. But yeah, she's composed it all, and then we sort of get into the room. Obviously, we have the casting process, try to make sure we've got as much of a band as possible, and then we get in the room and see who's available when, and how we can put the music together from there, and all that kind of stuff. And
It's like a huge puzzle, really.
it is,
isn't it?
yeah.
You can kind of, I'd imagine it's like you can kind of be as prepared, you know, the most prepared you've ever been. But ultimately, if somebody's acting in a scene, you just can't have them on the instrument in this language of this show.
Yeah.
Or there might be, I suppose, moments where you go, we'll let that one slide because you need it in band area, and also it kind of makes sense story-wise as well.
It's a bit of a negotiation. It's the same with the rock and roll pantos. You go, I really need these 5 musicians for this song, but then the choreographer goes, well, I need those 2 to be dancing. The director goes, well, I need those 2 in the scene. So you end up with just, one violinist to
And
to
a
play
massive
it. Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But luckily, that hasn't been the case with this show, and it's on the whole we've sort of managed to manipulate it so that at times you're having to literally finish a scene and leg it to the drum kit, or whatever it is.
I've literally written in my script, leg it.
Yeah.
I do leg it.
But it means we get to have you act in the scene and also play in the song. So overall, I think we've just about got to the end of the show now. We've got one song left to rehearse.
Yeah.
But I think it's all sounding pretty good. I think, we all know what we're doing just about, don't we?
Yeah, it was my first experience of doing a Christmas show instead of a panto. So I kind of walked in on day one and I was like, how is this going to be different? And it's just like doing a play. It's an actor-musician play with original songs, which is also my first experience of that.
Okay.
Yes, I think it is. Most of the time, I would say actor-musician shows tend to... if a show is set in the 70s or the 80s, you'll do the music from that time, and you learn to play in that way. Like Vernon's Girls was Liverpool, 70s, 60s, 70s. So you start doing like covers of songs, however well known they are or not, and then Rock and Roll Panto comes along, and you go, oh, we're doing Dua Lipa and Lizzo, great. So this was so exciting because it really felt like the lyrics were a continuation. It makes sense. Hannah's done the lyrics now, I think. So yeah, put two and two together. It's a continuation of the story. So the songs really do feel like musical theatre songs when the character can't say anything anymore, they sing because that's how they present that part of the story. So that's been really refreshing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love the rock and roll pantos and all of those Actor Muso shows that take existing songs and turn them into a show. And it sometimes makes my job easier because I can just say to the drummer, for example, here's the song, have a listen to it, that's the groove we're feeling, and whereas with original music, there's a lot more finding the right kind of feel for it and the orchestrations and obviously getting the songs in everyone's heads as well. So
and me going, I know you want this, but I like this groove. Can we do this groove?
Exactly, yeah.
Because I already know it. It'll mean less time for me to practice.
But then that's nice too because it might go a direction I hadn't even thought of. So,
I mean, we've got, there's a song, this will be out by the time the show's up, by the way. We've got a song called 511 Squares, haven't we?
Yes.
And I think without saying it in the room, we both eyed each other from the trunk of the piano, and I was like, I want to get that calypso beat in this somewhere. And there's a part, it's the lobster part, is it? Yeah. So there's this part where Joe is a lobster, and I was like, that makes sense. Lobster, Caribbean, right? Sea, Little Mermaid. So it's really fun. It feels, like I said, refreshing again, even to play, because you do feel like, obviously you have the final say, but you do feel like you can offer things. Whereas when you're doing a cover of a song and an MD says, we're doing this, but in a rock way, you go, okay, well, that's a rock, that's what that is then, you know?
Yeah, of course. And although you say I have the final say, I think I have no clue what I'm doing. No, I think I prefer it when I work with actor musos who offer ideas as well and who like I say, might take it in a direction I haven't considered because ultimately you know your way around a drum kit better than I do. So although I might have an idea of what I might want, exactly. You'll be able to shape it a bit more. So so I think it's kind of a collaboration in that sense between me and the actor musos, and then obviously Hannah and Lucy as well. Because yes, Lucy's obviously got ideas on how she wants her songs to sound. Yeah. But then also you've got Hannah who will then have ideas on what the music needs to do in terms of the storytelling. So and
moving the show on so that we're not just in one feel for too long.
Yeah. And it's funny because I come into it with such a music brain that sometimes with our opening song, for example, I thought I had a very clear idea of how that song was going to work, but then Hannah wanted to take it in a slightly different direction for the top of the song, which was important for the storytelling, and of course that takes precedence. So so again, that's another example of where what I'm hearing in my head with Lucy's songs then gets sort of taken elsewhere. Exactly.
It's been so interesting being an actor muso in the room and watching you three work together as well. There's obviously a huge element of us having to work as a band and then as actors and as choreography and all the other things that put a show together. But ultimately, when there are those moments in rehearsals where you're like, hang on a minute, musically this can't do that because it doesn't make sense mathematically, and then Hannah's like, but the thing is that and then Lucy's like, well, I wrote it like this, and it's been so interesting watching three of you as one brain work and you do work so well together so you just sit back on the drum kit and I'm like, oh that's good.
I think it's good because it can also sometimes push you as a creative out of your comfort zone slightly. So there'll be something that exists musically that it's sort of like what is being asked of it is quite hard to get your head around musically. It might be a rhythmic thing, it could be a melodic thing, who knows, but you then are sort of forced to really think outside of the box and find a way to make that work. And that's always interesting and good because you eventually come to a conclusion with it and go, oh wow, I would never have thought of that. So that's cool.
So for anyone that hasn't got their tickets yet, what's
why?
What's up with very true.
Why have they not got their tickets yet?
Exactly.
Excellent question.
Why have you not got your tickets?
What is wrong with you? Get tickets now.
Why should they?
Why should they get their tickets? Okay, so there aren't that many theatres across the UK that do original music, that have original music in their shows. So I think that's one good reason. I mean, if you want to go and see a panto at Christmas, it's fairly easy to find a theatre nearby that has a panto. Yeah. It's not as easy to find an original show with original music played by actor musos. So I would say that's one of the big reasons that people should book tickets.
What do you think about that?
Not also because it's obviously an excellent show. So you know, but yeah, it's I would say original Christmas shows are slightly harder to find. So that's.
And have you learnt your line yet?
Yes. Do you know that's my first line in years?
That's wild.
Yeah, and in my head I can remember 17 songs, all the arrangements, all the chords, everything. And then every time we run the show, we get to this one line that I've got, and I've constantly forgotten it. So I hope Hannah doesn't cut it. I'm gonna smash it when we next run the show.
But it's because you're literally going, what's the next musical cue? Which is what I do on the drum kit. If it's not my scene, I'm like, I'm just waiting for the cue. And then you're like, oh my God. It's hilarious.
So there's another reason to book a ticket, because you can come and watch me forget my line live in front of an audience.
Also, really quickly, what's the story behind your mug? It's so cool.
So this is my favourite mug, and it's not really a tea mug. It's more of a coffee mug. When Nespresso machines, sponsored by, first came out, I wanted to find a cup that was the perfect size for an espresso machine to fill with a little bit of milk as well, and this is the cup I stumbled across.
We've thoroughly enjoyed having you.
It's my I was saying before these cameras started rolling, it's my first podcast experience.
Aren't you lucky it's with us?
I mean, look at this, is all the production values. It's fantastic. And we've even, I don't think you clocked it in the last one.
Yes, well done.
The picture of Alice behind us.
Yes, that is
Beautiful.
Alice in Wonderland. Does it say the
Christmas 2018.
Pre-COVID, and Hannah McPake is playing the Red Queen.
She is. Here's Elian.
And that's Elian.
That's got to be daunting for you.
It's terrifying. Hannah was sat there, and I was like, this is weird. I'm interviewing my boss, who also played the character she's now casting in. I was like, this is bad.
I think it probably took you a good 5 minutes to get your words out.
I literally was shitting so full. I'm terrified of Hannah. Hannah, I'm terrified of you. In the best way possible. We shall
See you next Christmas.